The impeachment motion against Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake has been included in the Parliament agenda. A total of 14 charges have been included in the motion.
The first charge in the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice is the alleged removal of benches hearing cases against the Selinco Group and taking up further hearing of the cases in her court and serving as the presiding judge of the benches hearing the cases. The motion further states that in the subjects of one of these cases pertaining to a housing and property company, the Chief Justice had, acting on powers of attorney granted by two persons residing in Australia, purchased a residence at a housing scheme on Alvitigala Mawatha. In the second charge, the motion notes that in making payment for the purchase of the above property by paying a sum of 19,362,500 rupees in cash to the companies, the manner in which such sum of money was earned had not been disclosed. The third charge reads that the Chief Justice had not declared in the annual declaration of assets and liabilities that should be submitted by a judicial officer the details of approximately 34 million rupees in foreign currency deposited at the branch of NDB Bank located at Dharmapala Mawatha in Colombo in various accounts in the period from the 18th of April 2012 to the 27th of March 2012. The fourth charge claims that the Chief Justice had failed to declare in the annual declaration of assets and liabilities the details of more than 20 bank accounts, including 9 bank accounts maintained at the aforementioned branch of NDB Bank. As the fifth charge, the impeachment motion notes that the Chief Justice's husband is a suspect in relation to legal action initiated at the Magistrates Court of Colombo in connection with offences relating to bribery and/or corruption under the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. It further notes that the Chief Justice holds the position of Chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission, which is vested with powers to transfer, disciplinary control and removal of the magistrate of the said court, which is due to hear the case against her husband. The motion notes that as the administration of justice is hindered and the fundamentals of administration of justice are thereby violated, it is unsuitable for Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake to continue in the position of Chief Justice. The motion also notes in the sixth charge that the Chief Justice had violated Article 111H of the Constitution by appointing Manjula Tilakaratne to the position of Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission, even though he is not a senior judicial officer from a court of first instance as prescribed in Article 111H of the Constitution. The Chief Justice has also been charged with disregarding or violating Article 121, Part 1 of the Constitution by making a special ruling of the Supreme Court to the effect that the provisions set out in the Constitution are met by the handing over of a copy of the petition filed at the court to the Secretary General of Parliament, despite the fact that it has been mentioned that a copy of the petition filed under Article 121, Part 1 of the Constitution shall at the same time be delivered to the Speaker of Parliament. The motion also charges that Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake has violated Article 121, Part 1 of the Constitution, despite the fact that it had been decided that the mandatory procedures set out in the said article of the Constitution must be followed in accordance with the interpretation given by the Supreme Court with regard to special decisions of the court. The motion further notes that subsequent to being appointed as a Supreme Court judge, the Chief Justice has acted contrary to the ruling of the Supreme Court in the fundamental rights violation case, challenging her appointment to the Supreme Court. The 10th charge states that Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake heard and gave a ruling in the Special Rulings Petition number 2 of 2012 filed by the Centre for Policy Alternatives, to which the media publication section Groundview had published an article written by her while she was a lecturer at the Law Faculty of the University of Colombo prior to becoming a Supreme Court judge. The motion also charges the Chief Justice with harassing a magistrate who is the sister of a lawyer who had challenged her suitability for the position of Supreme Court judge. The 12th charge in the impeachment motion states that the Chief Justice, who is the ex officio chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission in terms of Article 111D, Part 2 of the Constitution, has by acting ultra vires the powers vested in her by Article 111H of the Constitution, ordered the magistrate Rangani Gamage's right to obtain legal protection for lodging a police complaint against the harassment meted out to her by the Secretary to the JSC. The 13th charge in the motion notes that Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake abused her powers by ordering Magistrate Rangani Gamage to obtain permission from the Judicial Service Commission prior to seeking police protection, thereby preventing her from exercising her legal right to obtain legal protection. The 14th and final charge in the impeachment motion reads that the Chief Justice had referred a letter through the Secretary of the Judicial Service Commission to Magistrate Rangani Gamage calling for an explanation from her as to why a disciplinary inquiry should not be conducted against her for seeking protection from the Inspector General of Police by exercising her legal right. The impeachment motion goes on to note that through the above actions, the Chief Justice, Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake, has brought disrepute to the entire Supreme Court and especially the office of the Chief Justice. The impeachment motion further notes that a Parliament Select Committee should be appointed, enabling the submission of a resolution to the President for the removal of Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranayake from the office of Chief Justice in the event the Select Committee reports to Parliament that one or more of the charges that have been levelled have been proved after the aforementioned charges of misconduct have been investigated.